and welcome back to another video. Today going to be going over some more Gran Turismo 7 news that has recently dropped. So there have been a couple of trailers recently-ish, one of them about a week ago, one of them a couple of days ago, so yes, some people may have already put together videos of this style focusing on those two trailers, but I thought I'd put together my own, focusing on a few new cars and a couple of teased tracks. So we've had two trailers, the starting line trailer and the collector trailer. These are sort of what they're calling the behind-the-scenes Gran Turismo 7 style things, where they've basically got Kazunori talking through, well, his opinions on car culture and things like that. But anyway, a few things were revealed kind of within these trailers. The first bit being, well, a lot more cars revealed and a couple of tracks, one from each trailer. So yeah, I'll let these two trailers finish playing, the starting line one first and then the collector, and then we'll get on to the two tracks that have been spotted, one from each trailer, and then we will move on to the cars. So, those were the two new trailers that dropped within the last week or two. Hopefully we'll get many more of this style of thing up until release of, well, more cars and tracks. But anyway, you might have noticed during the trailer the green patterns in the second one and the different coloured patterns in the first one. And those effectively have put together a map of a track. If you take all of them and put them together, that is a track. So in the first trailer we see Deep Forest, and in the second trailer we see Apricot Hill, with those different patterns put together. So two more classic original circuits, which are the kind of things we want to see. Obviously we've seen, I think it was at Trial Mountain, the first one we saw, and a few others, but yeah, really bringing back some of these original tracks. But those are the tracks. Let's move on to the cars. The most prominent one that was kind of unexpected was the Chaparral 2J, that crazy classic American, almost Can-Am style car. But yeah, really cool to see, something we didn't really expect to see coming back, so that was good to see. We also saw the Alpine 220, the Le Mans style Alpine from 1968, racing down the straight there, which is quite a cool kind of lesser known classic Le Mans car. So that's good to see. Aston Martin DB5, which is new. I think we had the DB6 in some previous games, but really good to see the DB5, because personally I prefer how that one looks, and obviously more iconic being the James Bond Aston. Next up is the McLaren F1 GTR racing car, the long-tail one. This again under BMW, like it was in old Gran Turismo games, or at least I think it is. Seems to be in the German section of the car list. So yeah, some of the cars were quite prominent, some of them were just these little icons in the background behind Kazunori, which we only really saw when we, well, brightened the image. So some of them were harder to pick out, so I could very well have missed some. But yeah, that would be really cool to see the kind of BMW branded McLaren. Obviously it had the BMW engine. But yeah, this one, the full long-tail race car, not the standard F1 GTR Le Mans car that we had in Sport. So that's cool to see. The Mercedes-Benz AMG GTR, or sorry, not Mercedes AMG GTR, it's not because of, yeah, anyway, that, so we had the GTS in previous games, and now we've seen the GTR in this menu. I'm kind of surprised they've not moved on to the GTR Pro or the GT Black series at this point, but those aren't really in any games, so GTR is still good to see, slight improvement on the GTS we had before. Then we have the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL from 1954, which is good to see returning. Bmw M3 from 89. So this isn't the Evo from GTS, from Gran Turismo Sport, which I initially thought it was, but the Evo is also pictured in the trailer, so we know it's not just the one carried forward from GT Sport. Obviously, all the cars I'm going through in this list are new or returning cars, not cars that were in GT Sport, because we pretty much already have them confirmed. So that's why I'm not covering all of the cars, because some of them were in Sport. So I'm trying to avoid those ones and focus on the new cars that have been spotted in this trailer, or confirmed returning cars from older Gran Turismo games. So yeah, the M3. Next up, the Corvette, kind of not a tiny little icon, quite prominent, that image of the Chevrolet Corvette, the C4. Not my favourite generation, probably technically the worst. I mean, it's not classic enough to be cool, but it's not new enough to be any good. But still, an iconic Corvette, nevertheless, so good to see that return. We also have the Polo Gti, again spotted the little icon for that, which is an interesting choice, another hot hatch, but cool to have more hot hatches. Hot hatches are always good fun in racing games. Like I say, with all the... Yeah, I know they're not quite as stupid as Prius touring cars, but with those kind of things, they're fun to race a whole pack of. And sometimes, yeah, slower cars are more fun on these games, particularly if you're racing. But yeah, Polo GTI, quite an interesting little car to have added. Then we have the Porsche 911 Carrera, the 964, spotted as an image of the car rather than as a little thumbnail. And also the 911 Speedster from the 964 generation, I think, is what the back of that car is in the tiny little thumbnail-y images. So we've kind of got a pair of 964s, which would be cool. Particularly the Speedster. I love the 911 Speedsters, particularly the new one. But yeah, this obviously one of the older ones. Obviously the Speedster started way back with the 356. But yeah, 911 Speedster, very cool. We've then got the Subaru WRX Super GT car, shown in the pink and blue, and the Porsche 550 Spider. There's the Alfa Romeo 155 V6 Ti, the touring car, the sort of iconic red Alfa touring car that we all know, and the old Racing 300 SL, which I know we saw in a previous trailer, but that's cool to see. And also, it's the first time we've seen the Alfa Romeo 8C 2900 in motion, the sort of really vintage Alfa that we keep seeing in the collecting car warehouse dealership place. So that's cool. So yeah, a lot of the cars and tracks and everything were shown in the first trailer. There was a lot more in there. It was a slightly longer trailer. The second one, a few bits and pieces shown, but not as much. But between the two, we've got a good list of more cars coming to the game, which is more new cars than we're getting in Horizon 5. So well done, Gran Turismo. I know some of them aren't new, they're returning from older games, but yeah, there's a good variety of cars, and if you add that to everything from Sport, which we're theoretically getting everything from Sport, it's looking pretty good. And 2 more original tracks is good to see. We kind of didn't think we'd get loads more, although when they first did the first trailer revealing a classic track coming back, we kind of got the idea that some more might follow. So really good to have some of those teased. I should probably say teased rather than confirmed for the cars as well. They're kind of shown in the background, but not... They should be coming to the game if they're in the trailer. But yeah, that is all from the recent 2 trailers. I know they've been around for a little while, so a lot of you guys may have seen them. But for anybody that hasn't, I hope this was some useful or interesting information about the upcoming Gran Turismo 7 game. And yeah, hopefully we'll get more trailers like this soon, with a list of cars and maybe a track teased in each one, because there's a few more tracks I'd love to see return, which I did do a video on tracks I'd like to see return if you want to go and check that one out. But yeah, and cars, actually, the premium cars I'd like to see return. So yeah, those will give you an idea of things I would like them to reveal in future trailers. But yeah, hopefully we will get more trailers like this. before the launch, running up until the launch in March, I think it is. But yeah, any more information before then would be great to hear. So hopefully they do put out more trailers, give us some more information, and get us even more excited for the new game. Although in a week's time we'll have Horizon 5 to keep us busy until Gran Turismo 7 comes out. But anyway, that is going to be all for today's video. If you did enjoy it and you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. But otherwise, that is going to be all for today's video. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next video very soon.